So OpenAI, it has the following platform, which contains all the different utilities, including the documentation. There is comprehensive documentation about all the different models, the different services that are provided. So OpenAI is not by ChatGPT, but it offers much more than this. Like, for example, they have also image generation. They have the way on how to do fine-tuning, how to create embedding for text, and different types of services. And also they have an API reference. Okay, so for the completion for the chat, it means how you will be able to use these different APIs into your program, whether in curl or in Python. They provide a Python API, how you can program. For example, applications like ChatGPT or text completion or making the embedding of text. So they provide example, and the most important part here is the playground. So playground, this is here where you can find OpenAI models for text generation. And this is the interface here. We have different types of models. There is what we call the chat completion model, which is known as also ChatGPT. It makes part of the chat completion model, and this one is text completion model. So text completion, it's basically are models that we call base models. These models are trained only on text, raw text. So this means, for example, you can give some initial text. Okay, today, for example, I woke up in the morning, and so here you can choose which model you want to use for making the inference. So all of these are base models, but of course with different capabilities. So usually we have DaVinci, we have Curie. I'm going to talk about this, but let's take the most sophisticated model, which is text DaVinci 003. And now if you put this text and you make submit, so it will be submitted and it will make an auto completion and filled my coffee cup with hot water and coffee grounds. So it makes sense. And these models are probabilistic. It means, now for example, if I remove the previous text and generate another one, it will give you another completion. Of course, the completion, it has, so this part has a context. So this is the context, which is the input that you provide. And this is the output, which is the completion by the model, the inference. And here there are different parameters that we will talk about, like for example, the maximum length. Now you can see it has generated a long text. I can, for example, shrink these to lower. For example, I want only 53 tokens. And if you do the completion, so it will be much smaller. So you can, but of course here, it's not complete sentence because it had to stop at the maximum length of the token. And here you have to play with the maximum length because every completion you have to pay for it. So if you don't want to pay a lot, you can reduce or maybe increase the maximum length depending on your budget. So this is called text completion. It was trained on raw text, and they can take different chunk of text. They divide it into input and output. For example, I take one part of the sentence. This is the prompt, and another part of the sentence. This is the completion. We do, for example, billions of samples like this, and the base model will be trained on completing sentences. Okay, this is what we call a base model. Yeah, and there are different models here. Look, now this text makes sense, right? Now, if I choose, for example, less sophisticated models, for example, let me take something not good. This is the lowest model here. It's kind of rubbish. Okay, it doesn't make too much sense. Okay, so it depends on the model size. For example, DaVinci, it's the largest model with 175 billion parameters, and Ada is much less. I think it's a couple of million parameters. And okay, and these ones are more sophisticated. They were trained on more data and for better performance. So this is what we call a text completion. Now, for the chat, which is pretty much used more in ChatGPT and chat conversations, it has a different interface. And here you're not going to give only a part of the text, which is the prompt, but you're going to provide additional context like the system. So what's this chatbot is supposed to do? Okay, we can make something like very generic. You are a helpful assistant. Okay, I can write you are a helpful assistant. So this is a very generic system completion. And now you can ask any question. For example, give me some information. And now I'm using ChatGPT 3.5, and I can use also ChatGPT 4. Okay, give me some information about generative AI. Okay, so now I can submit maybe there is an internet problem. Okay, let me submit again. So generative AI refers to the technology that enables the generation of content through artificial intelligence algorithm. It involves training and so on. If I ask the same question to ChatGPT, so it's going to give me something. Give me some information about generative AI. I can use ChatGPT 3. Okay. So it will give me also similar response. So this is a platform where you can test your models. Now we are using the standard model of ChatGPT, which is GPT 3.5, but later on you can use your own models. I will show you an example. Okay, you can choose, for example, GPT-4. We can change here the system. For example, you are an assistant to rephrase sentences. Okay, for example, let's take a sentence. Hot coffee with a cake. Okay. You see now I changed the system prompt. It changed. Now I desire to enjoy a hot coffee accompanied with a cake. So here the system prompt will affect what the system is going to do. Okay, so this is a context that you will provide to ChatGPT to tell it what you have to do. Because ChatGPT is actually a multitasking chatbot. It can do any kind of thing. For example, we can also do, you are an assistant to make sentiment analysis. You know what is sentiment analysis? So sentiment analysis, for example, we use this in customer service support. When someone sends a comment about a product, we want to know whether this comment is positive or negative, or probably neutral. Now, for example, if I take this sentence here, and I want to drink coffee, is this positive or negative or neutral? Neutral, yes. So if now I submit this one, it's neutral, you see? Now, I am happy with drinking a hot coffee with cake. And now the sentiment is positive. You see, if I say I am not happy with drinking a hot coffee with a cake, so now it says it's negative. And now this is one of the applications of ChatGPT, is that you can use it to assess the sentiment of users. You see, and this is, you can make simple application. I'm going to show you today a simple Python application where we can do this, like in programming. And later on, you can build your front end. You've done web development or not? You do. You're doing it. Okay. So yes, you can apply your web development in creating a chatbot, like we've done, for example, for PSU GPT here. And you can send a request to GPT-3, and do your inference. Okay, you get the response. So why it opens the horizon for Penny Business? Because it can do many things. Okay, with just simple prompts, you can extract a lot of information. Okay, in
what we're going to want to discuss that we customize
yes,
the AI to
yeah. What is planned in this course is to show you how you can develop application based on basically GPT-3 or GPT-4, and also how you can develop your own model. For example, you want to make a model for customer support, for healthcare services, for business applications, for I don't know. It depends on the data that you have and the scope of your work. You will be able to fine tune it and use it. Look now, I'm going to use a fine tuned model for PSU. Okay, now I will change you are PSU assistant to provide. So this is a fine-tuned model on PSU data, the same I showed you in ChatGPT, to provide assistance to Prince Sultan University related inquiries. Okay. And now, of course, if you say, I want to drink a coffee, and now you can see the response of the model. As an administrative assistant to PSU, my role is to provide assistance related to Prince Sultan matters. For personal inquiries, such as wanting to drink coffee, I recommend reaching out to your own personal assistant and engaging with a conversation with a friend. So the response is different because we've trained it that you should only respond to only PSU related questions. Although the base model is GPT 3.5 Turbo, the same model that we have used now for sentiment analysis or for respondent completion, yes, for rephrasing or so on. Okay, so you can see now I can ask some questions about Prince Sultan University. For example, what is the minimum GPU for graduation? Okay. No, this is the assistant. No, I need to make it here. What is the and I need to make this GPA, not GPU. Minimum GPA for graduation. And that's correct, see? So I can add the end sequence here, not to make it. For example, how to drop a course. Okay. A modification and deletion form to the admission and registration deanship in order to drop a course. This is correct, right? Yes. And it gives you even the article of the policy. Okay, so this was fine-tuned on Prince Sultan University data. And you know, one of the times, one student sent me an email for academic advising, and just for curiosity, I just drop it on the PSU GPT and provide me a correct response on how we should answer. So yeah, it's very useful. We're going to release it now, just doing some final touches. Yeah, but these are the things that we plan to do. Everyone can bring a certain context to fine-tune it to a particular use case. Okay, so now this is about the different interfaces that you can use on the playground. And okay, let me show you additional things. Now, when you use the playground, it's not for free. Okay, so you need to have a paid account in OpenAI. Okay, so these are the different OpenAI keys. So you can create a new secret key later on if you want to do programming. You need to have your secret new OpenAI key. It will give you information about your usages. So for example, this is my usage 5 days ago, and settings, the name of the organization, and different other information about the members and so on. Okay, so now going back to the playground, Now, for example, if I want to use any of these model, okay, it also provides you the boilerplate code to get started. So I just need to take this and put it into Python, okay, and it's gonna work. So let's do this. Let's make a small chatbot right now. I'm going to open, okay, let me just pause. Okay, so now I'm starting with a new project. I'm going to create a chatbot.py. Okay, I will open, this is VS Code. I open the terminal. I'm going to change my environment where I have all the dependencies that I need. Conda activate. Conda activate. Okay. So I have this chatbot.py right now. Now I'm going just to copy this code, boilerplate code, and put it here. Of course, now, okay, let's start with GPT-3 because now this is the code for PSU GPT. I'm going to start with GPT-3 and I will specify the token, the maximum length. Well, we can change it later on. Of course, it will take any parameter here. You are a helpful assistant. So now this is the code. I want to make it simple. New code, copy. That's our code now, very simple. Okay, now the OpenAI key, now it will take it from the environment. Now in the Mac, I put my OpenAI key into the .bash profile. So every time I load the terminal, it's already defined because the OpenAI key is a secret. It should not be disclosed. So you have other option is to go to your account and create a new secret key. You copy paste it, and by the way, you should copy paste it and save it because now all these keys I cannot get back to them if they are not saved. Okay, once you take the key, you are not able to open or edit or make any copy. Okay, edit the key. Okay, so you can take the key and paste it as a string over here, starting by SK. And now this is the API. It's very simple. Of course, you need to install your environment, pip install OpenAI. I already did it. Okay, because in Python, you need to have packages like you do in Java, for example. You import additional packages. So OpenAI is not by default in Python. We need to install it. In Python, it's very simple. We use pip. Okay, this is the command here, install, and then the name of the package. Okay, so it's already installed. I have all the dependencies. And let's understand this one. So we're going to receive a response, and we use OpenAI package and the class chat completion. Okay, and this, it means a chat conversation. Now, because we are using GPT 3.5 Turbo. If we use DaVinci or other base models, it will be OpenAI.completion.create. Okay, I will do another example. And now here it provides you the system role. Okay, but in principle, we should have also the user as well. Yeah, the user with the prompt. So let's see how it looks like, because I need to add a message. For example, here it's my prompt. So it added me here the user here. Okay. Let me just take it. Okay. So now I can change the prompt with any question. Give me an overview of generative AI in 20 words. So I have to consume a lot of tokens. And okay, let's see what happens. We are going to make print response. Okay, so let me execute this Python and chatbot.py. Now it returns a JSON. So this is a JSON format. Okay, so a JSON as introduced yesterday, okay, it's a data structure or data representation like XML. Okay, it uses tags. So here it uses curly brackets and it's defined by a key, and every key has a value. So here we have, it's like a database. It's like one row in a database. Okay, JSON. So this is the ID of the response. It means that it was obtained from a chat completion. This is when it was created in time in Unix format. This is the model used to do the inference. And now here where we find the response in choices, index 0, message, and content. So this content comes from the assistant who is responding back to you. And it says generative AI is a branch of artificial intelligence that focuses on creating a new and original content such as images or text. Okay, so the finish reason is the stop, and here the number of tokens used. Okay, because token is not necessarily a complete word. We will see this in tokenization. A word can be divided into 2 or 3 tokens depending on the tokenization algorithm. So here we have used 31 token, and it means now we have been charged with OpenAI for 31 tokens. So you can go to OpenAI pricing, and you will see the cost of each token. Okay, so now for example, if you use GPT 3.5 Turbo, okay, with a 4K context, you will pay this amount in dollar for 1,000 tokens. Of course, probably you see this is not very expensive, but when you are going to send text, 100K tokens is very easy to obtain it. Now, only 20 words, you have 31 tokens. Imagine that you have a complete text or paragraphs. So you will consume it by the time. Okay, so, and this is GPT-4. It's more expensive, much more expensive. Okay, so you see the impact on the number of tokens, because from business perspective, budget perspective, we need to be careful about this. Now, for example, for doing simple example, it's not a big deal, but for deploying this to a large audience, there will be also a budget overhead. There are now alternatives. We're going to study this in the course that are completely free for education and commercial usages, which are the models provided by Meta Facebook. It's called Llama. They provided Llama 1 and Llama 2, and now they have pretty much good performance, but they are not at the same level of GPT-3 or GPT-4 in terms of multitasking. But for specific tasks, they can have comparative performance. Okay, so the completion token, this is the prompt token. Look, now when they charge you for how many tokens you have sent and how many tokens you have received. So in total, you will be charged over 55 tokens. Okay, so you can even estimate the cost from this. Now, if we want to print only the response, okay, so since this is a JSON, okay, this is how we decode it. Now we have a JSON object, which is the response. All of this is the response. And now we need to go key by key. So the first key here, we have ID, object, created, model, choices. And in choices, we have also other keys. Okay, so I will make here choices. This is the first level. Yes. And the second level, what is the second level? It's content. No, it's even before. I need to go for, so we have messages. We have index. We have here messages. Message, and then inside message we have content. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, yeah, it's because I forget to do about the index. So I think we have an index 0 here. Yeah. Now I make the index. Now I can get only the response. Okay, so it's response, choices at index 0, then message, then content, and then I can get the response back. And this is what I want to show, right? Of course, now we've done here the prompt in a static manner inside, but we can also take it. If now I want to make a chatbot, I just need to read the input. Okay, for example, I can make prompt equal input. And now I can change this prompt here. Okay, give me an overview of generative AI. Now I get it, you see? So this is the first step of the chatbot. Okay, I can make something better. Okay, print user. Print welcome to your personal assistant. And then I put the user here. So, and then I can do assistant and print the response. Now, it will look a little bit more intuitive. I think I can put the input. Okay, it's fine. User, okay. Give me an overview about AI in 20 words. Okay. Of course, now if I make a for loop, I can have it a continuous chatbot assistant. Okay, we can change the model now. I can also invoke GPT-4. Okay, if I have something that I need to do more sophisticated, I can do GPT-4. Okay, give me an overview about machine learning in 10 words. So it's slower. You can see GPT-4 is slower. Okay, now we invoke GPT-3. Now for the text, for the complete, it has another API. Okay, which we can also try. And now you can see it's a little bit different. I can put the prompt. I want to drink a, and it will complete. Okay, so let me try it now. Python complete.py. Okay, I need to print first the response. Print response. So here the JSON, it has a different structure. It's not the same structure, we will see. It says that this model is deprecated, is going to be deprecated, but okay, we have choices and text. I want to drink a refreshing glass of iced tea. Okay, it has made the completion. I can do now